After every inning, drink a beer. After every run scored, drink a beer. Heck, after every strikeout, drink a beer. If the guy sitting next to you drinks a beer, you gotta drink a beer. And drink a beer every time you hear me say the magic words, hey everybody, drink a beer.
Everybody giggling it up here at Central Park in Hopkins, Minnesota on a beautiful sunny day. We're here recording another HRL podcast for the first time in nearly 2 years. Everybody seems very excited. We have a large cast of characters with us today, all of whom will be appearing in Morenci, Michigan in just a week's time. So let's go around and let everybody know who's here. This handsome fellow to my left, who the hell are you?
The HRL commissioner, Hater.
Hater's here. This guy, one of our new guys, who's here?
Yep, hey, I'm the newest guy here. This is Huck Finn. Not to be confused with Mippy 5. I am Huck Finn. We are associated, but yeah. What's up?
How about you, stupid?
Smallpox himself.
Smallpox. This guy, not playing for HRL, but here today is
manager for the MNWA Beavers, Trent Steffes.
Trent Steffes is here. No, we're getting to that. We're getting to that guy. That's our special guest.
Gotta lean in a little bit. Yeah.
You first.
Squirrel, MNWA.
Squirrel, MNWA, and the world famous
Evan Bischoff.
Turn it on.
Evan Bischoff.
It is on.
It's not on.
Is it on?
He's so fancy.
It's worth.
Evan Bischoff, professional wiffleball player and podcaster, knows when the microphone's on. So we're all right.
It has to be up.
He's 21.
Yeah, it would. Dude, I had it on. No, down is on. just get your hands in there a little bit and it'll get up.
All right. Well, we're off to a flying start. Smallpox was hoping for a shit show, and we're well on our way. So there we go.
So I'll be edited.
We are at Central Park right now today because we do have the HRL All-Star game taking place here later on tonight. Everybody here on the podcast today is involved one way or another. We have All-Stars like myself who really earned a spot. And we have a couple of fun stars here in the Steffes brothers, which nobody would ever think that they would be fun stars, yet here we are.
A lot of fun.
Smallpox is a fun star as well. Thanks, Smallpox. Good.
I don't think I've ever received a fun star vote in probably
Rightfully
5 years.
so.
Yeah, right?
Rightfully so.
Smallpox.
And we'll talk about we'll talk about the All-Star game here in a little bit, but we did want to cover some NWLA things since we have a vast majority of the HRL team here, as well as a couple of MNWA guys, and get everybody's opinion. And I think where we wanted to start here was probably the thing that we've been most vocal about since the end of last year's tournament, Bischoff excluded, of course, but is the location of the tournament. Figure we just dive right into that and see what everybody's thoughts are. I think I've caused more trouble on Twitter with the NWLA brass than anybody ever has, so I'm pretty proud about that myself.
And you're not even going.
And I'm not going. That's right. So it's clearly a protest on my part that I can't deal with these goofballs putting this tournament in rural Michigan. But no, that's not true at all. There are other reasons I can't make it, but Hater's distracting me here, sorry. But let's talk about it a little bit. Smallpox, you got the mic. You're a NWLA veteran here. What I know initially you had some concerns about it. Where do you stand now on the location of Morenci, Michigan?
I was definitely hesitant early on, as what seems like our entire league was. But I definitely have an open mind about it now, considering we are a week out. I was telling Evan earlier, if you would have asked me a month ago, my excitement level for this tournament, it was near zero. But now that we are a week away, honestly, no matter where it is, I'm excited for it, and it's going to be a good time. I'm going to try to have an open mind and have fun with it.
Trent, from an MNWA standpoint, where have you guys sit on that?
I'm honestly just happy that it's still happening because, you know, our two teams are so different because you guys are perennial contenders and we are there pretty much just to have fun and see everybody and try to compete a little bit. So I was initially I was against it. I was kind of on Team HRL, the resistance, but I came around once I. The socks, right? Yeah. No, but we came around because at the end of the day, we're all there to play competitive wiffle ball, and they're getting it done for the amount of money they have. And I'm really excited to see how the town responds, because they tweet out pictures of like the street lights with the banners with the logo, and I gotta say that's pretty damn cool. So yeah, I'm excited about it, even though I was opposed to it at first.
Hayter, you're the, of course, team manager, and I think the question that HRL and everybody else in NWA is wondering, or NWLA, is wondering, is that now that the tournament's in Morenci, Michigan, do you think you'll be able to wake up on time and show up for your team's games?
That's a good question. Good question.
I definitely think I will be waking up in time. In fact, I would like to wake up on time for all games. To be honest, I did not. I wasn't planning on playing in that first game that Sunday. That's not reason to not show up to the game. But yeah, mistakes were made, and between the commissioner and myself, we dealt with it. As you know, the HRL commissioner is, one of the best in the business. He's been around a long time. And as you guys know from the Two Wiffle Dudes podcast, when they had the HRL commissioner on there, the commissioner of the largest wiffle ball league in the nation, deservedly so, he would be on the Two Wiffle Dudes podcast, probably the first guest. He feels terrible about the whole deal. And in Morenci does have a lot to offer, like a street light. And I think I will definitely, as long as I don't get stuck at the light, should be there on time. And really excited. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to be in a bigger location, but it's going to be great, and I hope it works out for everybody. At this point, I'm glad to see everybody. I'm friends with everybody out there. Really excited to go. Really excited to have Bischoff on our team here. He's a great young man with a great arm. He's a handsome young man for those ladies watching. And I'm glad that the MNWA guys are here on this podcast too. Steffies are a great group.
Fair enough. And you raised the point that we've got a new guy on our team. Grab the mic there, new guy. This isn't the first time a player has played for another team at MNWA, right? I mean, we've had, or at NWLA. I'm getting this all screwed up.
Too many acronyms here.
I know, for cripe's sake. We were talking about Regis earlier before we went live. Now you are the latest. So where do you stand? What are your thoughts going into the tournament with a new team?
I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a completely different atmosphere to the WSCM crowd, kind of ganging up on the other team always. But I expect plenty of shit talk from Chandler and crew. With that said, I ain't scared. I think we'll do all right.
Awesome. I think we will too. And our lone new participant in the tournament here is Huck Finn. Never seen it, never played it. So what are you expecting to see when you get there as a new guy?
I've gathered a lot of information, from Smallpox, from Hater, from these people who have been it before. At the end of the day, we're looking for a fan to show up. A good atmosphere. That's what we're looking for at this point. Just a little bit of support. But, it's going to be a fun time. Get to meet some teams, get to see some, a little bit faster than our league, essentially. So I think it's going to be a good time to get our name out there and to compete. It'll be a good time.
Right on. Yeah, it's definitely a different style of play than we play here in HRL, and there's always some adjustment there. But I think we've done a good job of that over the years and playing, still adapting our style here to effectively play at NWLA, with the exception of last year, of course. But that kind of brings up, style of play and things like that. And I was just wondering here if anybody had any thoughts if you were to change rules or, field dimension, whatever, anything about the NWLA tournament, what would you change?
The first thing that comes to mind for me, and this is something I've been vocal about to people in our league and other folks around, is it's pretty clear that at this point, pool play has no meaning whatsoever, and it's essentially a placeholder for everyone to play 3 games just to play. My thing that I would change would be regarding that. Currently, obviously, we have 4 pools with 4 teams. What I would do personally is if you finish last in your pool, you immediately go to the danger field. essentially gives teams an incentive to not go 0-3. We've seen teams like OCWA not purposely go 0-3, but not throw any of their guys, not win a pool play game, and then make a run in double elim, showing that there's no relevance at all to pool play. And then leaving the remaining 12 teams that do qualify for double elim. If you do win your pool, you get a bye. So there's incentive to win as well. So it leaves you with 12 teams, double elimination. So there's incentive to not, play shitty, but there's incentive to play well on the other end of that. And I think it allows for every game to matter. I think if you're traveling to, a different state, you want every game to mean something. And at this point, your first 3 games are essentially irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That's it's an interesting proposal, something to think about. Anybody else have anything they thought about? Hater, I'm sure you got something.
Hater always has something.
Usually an STD.
Well, what can I say? All the girls need to be made happy at some point. Yeah, I actually want to piggyback on smallpox. I mean, he's absolutely right. If everybody's traveling all the way there to play competitive wiffleball and to find out who the best league is that year, there should be no meaningless games. The round robin thing needs to go. I mean, if you're going to have regionals and have all those games matter, it makes no sense that everybody shows up in Morenci this year and plays a bunch of meaningless games. They need to figure out some way. And you know what? I don't have any better ideas. Smallpox sounds great to me, and I'll piggyback on that idea. I mean, they need to somehow make those games worth something. I'm not saying that everybody should have to throw their aces early on, but they need to figure something out, or just get rid of those games completely because they're pointless. One other thing that I think the league or the NWLA needs to start doing now is, and they've actually done a good job. This year they have a minimum of 5 games for everybody to play, which I think is good, but they got to get rid of these weekend leagues. I mean, no offense, but if your league plays over a weekend, it's not a league. I mean, the NWLA has regionals, and 6 weeks later or whatnot has nationals. I mean, technically that's a bigger league than half of these weekend leagues. And obviously Sam Skibby's league has been around a long time, and that's a great league that is a 4-day league that takes, is literally 24/7 from what I understand, and probably one of the most fun 4 days anybody in wiffleball could ever have. But, I mean, it's still a weekend tournament. So, to me, I mean, they need to straighten some of this out and, make sure these leagues are actually leagues. I don't have a great answer, but, I could definitely help teams out there if they want to have, more prosperous leagues and actually, change these things from weekend leagues, if you will, to real leagues. So that's one thing I'd like to add. Plus, they need to get Palisades out there. I'm sorry, but it's tough to have a tournament and figure out who the best league is without having Palisades there. And I know there's a lot of bad history there, but that's something that I would like to see at some point. Maybe Palisades could come, bring an open mind and we could work it out, because I'd love to see those guys there. I've never personally met them. I think they're great people. I'd like to meet those guys and like to compete against them. I think it'd be fun for everybody.
All right. I can, for one, say I'm looking forward to the Gus and Sam Skibby fist fight with Hader in Morenci this year for that weekend league comment. So that should be a good time. Somebody record that. What do you guys think about the regionals? Is that still something? What about
Trent
you,
has some
Trent?
thoughts.
Yeah. So explain to me how we are cutting down. The number one goal of this committee this past offseason was to cut cost in a sliver of what we've been doing, but regionals stayed around. I think regionals is one of the biggest jokes. I mean, they scratch every single year to have leagues, and I'm using air quotes for those of you who can't see me, which is everybody. They have these so-called leagues come out, and the guys from Bemidji, they were great guys, but they're not a real league. They never met any criteria, and I think it's just a big waste of time. I think it's a big waste of money.
Hand that to him.
And I think that there's other ways that you could bring more teams into the fold without having to waste time and money with regionals.
Austin, what do you think?
I totally agree with my brother. Regionals is just insanely useless. They could just go back to how we got into NWLA, the tournament we just picked. They could just go back to that. It would save cost. Some teams are traveling 8 hours for a tournament and they're not qualified. It's just I don't think it's necessary.
All right.
I think initially the goal of regionals is when we had enough teams we were actually eliminating a handful of teams, but at this point when as Trent mentioned, we're scrambling to get leagues and teams to play until we get 24, upwards of 30 leagues that are willing to come and show up to nationals. I think until we get to that point again, there's no reason to have a regional tournament. Say, come to Michigan or Columbus or wherever the tournament is, and if you can cut it and you can make it, good for you. But I mean, as we've seen, you show up and kind of get your ass kicked a little bit and understand how it's a different world. And then I think it's better that teams learn that at the national tournament rather than the regional tournament, which is a little bit smaller scale.
Fair enough. I mean, I think Trent made a good point that you got a lot of, I don't know if you have a lot of, but you got a handful of teams out there that, I mean, you set a criteria for teams to qualify to be in this tournament, and then you, in order to just artificially inflate numbers or inflate the numbers, you're skirting the rules that they have to abide by, and I think that's a good point. If you're going to set these rules out there, abide by them or change them. I mean, if you want to have the weekend warriors join this tournament, then so be it. But you need that spelled out so that teams like WSEM and HRL and LCWA and these leagues that are playing multiple. I mean, we're playing every week, and these other teams just, some of them are getting together once. That's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's almost insulting in a way to leagues like HRL and WSEM, and I'm not going to speak for MNWA because we're having a very sporadic year because we're trying to scramble to get qualified, and we've remained in the rules. And so it's almost more insulting to us because we're busting our backs to try to get NWLA eligible and stay within all the rules, and then they're bringing in teams that have absolutely no eligibility and haven't made an effort to do what we're doing. So, I mean, there's something to be said with that. And like I said, MNWA is struggling, but it's insulting to leagues, especially like I said, HRL and WSEM. We're all out here every week. Hater and WebGem and guys like that are putting in so much work to get this thing to move and to be on the same level with some of the so-called leagues that play.
Right on. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I agree with everything you've said, except that Hater's putting in a lot of work. Other than that, I completely agree with everything you just said. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about regarding NWLA before we go? No. All right. So everybody's super fired up.
I'll say something else.
Settle down, Howard.
I'll say something else.
Hater's got something
Let's
else.
go. What's that? What was the question?
What was the question? Wrap up our NWLA talk for us.
Oh, well, first of all, I'd just like to say I'm super excited. Every year, I'm really excited to go to the NWLA. It's great. I've really gotten to know all the guys. I mean, I love everybody who goes out there, whether I talk to them a ton or not. I've gotten to meet so many cool people. Obviously, it starts with Galway, but this year I got to meet and work with Mike Sessions at regionals, and that was so cool to meet that guy. And Sam Skibby puts in a ton of work, and even some of these other guys that didn't show up, Skibby, Tompkins. I know that he hasn't given HRL a big nod in rankings over the last couple of years. I understand, but the guys put in a ton of work, and they're just. It's really cool, the national camaraderie ship that everybody seems to have, and I really enjoy hanging out with the guys. And that's the one thing that Morency will do. I hope is that maybe everybody will hang out in the same spot, or we're all here to do the same thing, and that's to play wiffleball and make money. And I'm really excited for it. It'd be nice for HRL to get a win. I'm as competitive as anybody else. I really want HRL to try and get a win out there, and we're not going out trying to scout and get other guys from other leagues. It's not how we do it. We do have Bischoff here, but we
don't really want him. He just showed up here.
He just happened to show up in Minnesota.
Here, and we don't have 3-4 leagues in one city. We do have MNWA here, but we've actually kept really separate as far as this tournament goes, and I think it's been pretty good. I mean, we still have a really good relationship. This NWLA tournament hasn't ruined us. We haven't split up into 2, 3, 4 leagues. I mean, we have 130 guys in our league here. That's probably more than almost all the leagues combined, except for a handful of them, like WSEMs and some of these
Rangers
others
only
that
have 3 guys on their team.
multiple players. But my main point here is I'm excited, and NWLA is always an awesome time. I will miss Galloway this year, but that guy's awesome. Everybody else is doing awesome, and I just look forward to playing, and I'd love to get in there and hit against Farkas. I'd love to see WSEM has to face Bischoff this year on our team. I think it'd be really fun, win or lose, and I'm just really excited to play. And the one guy I did want to send a shout out to is Artem. I understand his team didn't qualify. I don't quite understand how that happened, but that guy is awesome. He gave us and Smallpox a run for our money last year and beat us, and that guy's legit. So he will be missed. I don't know if he's going or not, but I hope he does. But again, with having all these multiple leagues in different areas like they have, I mean, somebody's got to miss out, and maybe the karma of last year and with them splitting up leagues, came back to bite them there. But super excited to go. Glad my team's still letting me play this many years into it. And
they're putting you on the roster. Whether or not they let you play is still to be determined.
Either way, I'm glad to be there. Hopefully I get in. I'd really like to face some of the tougher pitchers. I don't want to just sit and face only easy games. No offense to some of those teams that are easy teams, but
like who?
I don't want to specify. I mean, it all depends. In round robin, any team's an easy team. OCWA can be an easzy team because they don't play half their guys. So that's the reason to get rid of the round robin. I mean, WSEM, I don't know who they're going to throw. I mean, we could get them and face somebody who's not that good. I don't know. At this point, the teams are all so good. I don't think there's really any easy teams anymore. But some of those matchups become easy because of the round robin.
All right. You have something to add there,
I do.
Huck?
Yeah, this is Huck again. A big thing from the HRL side, real quick, that people are real excited about NWA is that WebGem is not going. I think a lot of people are super, super excited to get some new, fresh blood, some good players in there.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's going to be able to hit, $150 again. So hopefully...
Yeah, Wade,
59
Wade, I'm sorry I murdered you on our message board.
Challenge 150? 150 challenge accepted.
The guy taking Wade's spot is the one who says, yeah, some of these guys are really excited that new people as in yourself.
150.
Yeah,
150.
That's the guy who's never been to the tournament before.
Challenge accepted. I can do a 150. I'll do you one better.
Turns out for you.
All right.
I only wish you the best.
As you may gather, WebGem is wandering around behind us here, but all right. So, I mean, I think to put a lid on the NWLA talk, I think everybody's excited. It's a new look HRL for sure. We'll be missing some of the vets, but we've got some fresh new blood coming in, some looks that the other teams haven't seen before, and with any luck, they won't completely shit the bed like everybody did last year. So that would be great. If it does happen, Smallpox is the manager, and he gets all the blame.
HRL this year, easily going to have a top 4 finish in round robin. In our pool.
There you go.
Throw that out.
You heard it here first. All right. Well,
we're going to advance to double one.
Let's move on. We also wanted to touch on a little bit today. Like we established before, the HRL All-Star Game is tonight. And speaking of, here comes the biggest All-Star in HRL history. Our founder, Truck, has arrived.
What's up, guys?
Truck, say hi.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
He just walked in the rink. We're just about to start talking about the All-Star Game tonight.
Man, I can't tell if I'm blind from all these good-looking dudes with the sun shining through your hat and off to your dome.
All right, smartass walks in. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It'll be fun to listen to you take
Truck,
a piss in 5 minutes, too.
While you're here, you've been to every one of these All-Star nights. Any memories jump out at you? Your favorite All-Star memory, Fun Star memory?
Boy, I've been on the losing end of so many of them playing for me. I do remember an All-Star night back in, I believe it was 06. where I actually took the man and tugboat deep in the same game in the All-Star
You
game.
did?
And then struck out looking to the man to lose the All-Star game. On a knuckleball of all things.
Just a roller coaster.
Favorite Fun Star memory would have been rolling out with the Egan All-Stars dressed as the Village People.
That was a
The
classic.
YMCA in the background.
Oh, that was with the
pretty good.
shovel.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
You will find that video on the HRL YouTube page. That's out there. You can go check that one out. They had a good time with that one.
Yes, we did.
So, again, here we are tonight, and again, we're surrounded by all-stars and fun stars here, most notably me.
Debatable.
I backed my win. I think I'm hitting I don't even know what I'm hitting, 270, something like that, and somehow...
Mendoza line, really.
Yeah, somehow I got two hitter votes, and enough people backed out of playing in this thing that I'm in. So that's pretty exciting. But Smallpox, you're a perennial all-star, believe it or not. I know the listeners nationally will find that hard to believe.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Here you are again. Tell the people about what it's going to be like for you as a starting pitcher today.
I'm not pitching.
Yeah, I know, you're a terrible pitcher.
You want nothing to do with me in an HRL. Me on the mound in an HRL game is a disaster now.
You have been a hitter, though, I think every year since you got in, is that right? How have you done in the All-Star games?
That is correct. I've actually fared a lot better against the better pitching in the league. My regular season stats against some of the better pitchers, like Seuss and Palp, have been pretty abysmal. But I think 2 years ago, actually, referencing what Truck said a couple minutes ago, I think I hit a home run off of Seuss and Palp in the same game 2 years ago. And that's probably my highlight for All-Star games anyway.
Yeah. Hater, you've been in a bunch of these.
Write in the journal about that one.
What jumps out at you from your All-Star experiences? Let me ask, was it the Grand Slam you gave up to Two-Bet to lose the game in 2012? Because I remember that one.
That was not. I've been known to get frustrated when I can't throw strikes, and I just laid one in there because I wanted to just throw strikes, and he took it deep, and it was honestly I was glad that I didn't have to pitch anymore. But with that said, I mean, we have every year in and year out, we've got 130 plus or minus guys in this league. I mean, to make the All-Star team is honestly a pretty big feat. And for some of those guys listening who have smaller leagues, I mean, to make our All-Star teams is really tough. It's a lot of work. It's guys like Smallpox who've been in there every year. I mean, that shows how good guys like him really are. I think this is my 4th or 5th time in 10 or 11 years. So I make it, maybe once every 2 years, and I'm ecstatic to be back on the team. I know it's been a couple of years. I just hope everybody has fun. I hope we get a huge turnout. Honestly, the people who are out there tonight playing, I mean, it's really just like the competitiveness for everybody listening of an NWLA, late double limb game. I mean, we have really, really good talent in our league. Unfortunately, we don't get to showcase it all on the national stage. But, I think if anybody gets out there and watches it tonight, you'll see some of these guys you may never have heard of, never have seen. These guys, I mean, the guys in this league are legit. And, for those of you who don't know, I mean, you should check it out. It's definitely worth it. Not even on pay-per-view. Take a look. I'm excited to be playing. I'm leading off the game against Huck Finn here, who is also going to be playing in NWLA, and it's going to be a good time. I look forward to seeing his pitching in the All-Star game. It's totally different than the regular season. Everybody here is legit, and should be really fun.
Also tonight is the Fun Star game, and the Steffes brothers are going to be a part of that. Now, this is year 2 for you guys in the league. Technically, Trent is year 3. I know his first year went down as one of the greatest in history. With the 1-35 Tigers. But and the one win was on a forfeit.
It was.
But I don't recall. Have you guys seen the Fun Star game before?
No, because last year was the year that we were, really fully involved with a huge group of MNWA guys, and we had a MNWA event on All-Star Night last year. So this is our first ever HRL All-Star Night.
I mean, I've seen it. I watched
he watches
I watched
HRL
a bunch of videos, so I've seen it before.
So what do you I know you guys, part of the Fun Star game is always, each team has a plan going in, and I'm not going to ask you guys to spill the beans here, but what are you expecting out of the game as a whole?
I don't know.
A lot of silliness. It's going to be very silly.
When I first got the text from WebGem that I was elected as an all-star, I was a Fun Star, excuse me.
Come on.
No, I'm not that good. No, I was shocked because I am. If you've ever played against me, it's I don't get accused of being fun a lot, so I thought it was, and I still think it might just be a big joke that people think it's funny when I get mad. So I was pretty surprised, and it's honestly gonna, for me, it's a lot of pressure to be like, hey, go be fun, and I'm like, I don't know how to be fun, but. There'll be alcohol involved, so I think I'll get over those jitters pretty quickly.
So there's already alcohol involved.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There's a big pile of beer cans here.
It might be a change in direction for the HRL, because I think in addition to you being on the Fun Star team, I believe Johnny Manziel from the Astros is on the team as well. He is also known for fighting on the field, which is awesome. So we're looking for the angry guys in the Fun Star game.
Yeah, this maybe need to be renamed, like, not in honor of him, but like the Spaz Star game,
Right, yeah, that's a good
on-field spazes,
That's a good point. Usually I'm in it, and I'm the one causing all the anger and frustration, but here it's you guys.
Yeah, so, and unfortunately I had to work up in St. Cloud when we played the Bears this year, so I always love playing the Bears and playing Truck and all those guys, so it'll be fun to play them again.
Right, yeah.
The Egan Fun Star team is
the Egan Fun Star team is the Bears. So that's what a 0-18 record will get you. But no, they're well deserving. They're good, fun bunch of folks, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game. But let's put a bow on this whole podcast. I put a call out on Twitter for some questions.
Oh my god!
And so we got a bunch of questions.
Maybe was active on Twitter.
That got out of hand.
I think I asked like 5. He went off in that.
He does not have any friends.
Correct. Yeah, Nippy,
don't
the
give him
world
the
famous.
satisfaction. Do not give him. Don't give him the
throwing
satisfaction.
Nippy under the bus here.
Do not give Nippy the satisfaction of answering his questions. There's no.
All right. Well, let's get to the ones we can ask then.
Breakout.
Like I say, we got questions from Austin over here for some reason, most of which seem to center on alcohol, which is interesting since he's like 12. But
that's fine. I'll talk about alcohol.
Let's see here. So best. He wants to know what the best field is in HRL. So let's narrow this all down to the actual field, not the best park. For those unaware, we play at 4 different parks, and at each park are 2 different fields. Which field at which park is the best one in HRL?
Oh man, it's tough because some fields are great to look at and some fields are great to play on. So I would definitely say the one we're sitting on right here, Central and Hopkins, is my favorite field to play on, hands down. You can go to the Egan fields; they look pretty with all the grass and whatnot, but once you play on them, it's no fun. That's for sure.
Which field here at Central? The short left or short right?
Short right. You already know. Yeah, lefties for sure.
100% agree. Yeah, the field that we're playing on for the All-Star game is the best field in the HRL.
Very historic.
I think a lot of people think that. Let's keep going here. Trent, what do you think?
Thank you. I'm going to go a different route here. Of course, I'm staying in Hopkins, but I'm going to go Valley because I left a lot of skin here on Central Fields a couple weeks ago, and that kind of soured my taste. So I prefer the far less gravel pit-esque Valley.
Which field at Valley?
Oh, Field 1 for sure. Yeah. I'm all about that southpaw.
Short right field.
Short
over there.
right, no doubt.
All right. What about Austin? Answer your own question, damn it.
I gotta agree with Puck and Smallpox, the short right field in Central.
You're right-handed.
Yeah, I know. I'm from pitcher.
Oh,
it helps me.
It's still a better field.
It's a great field, very historic. A lot of World Series are played here. Great pitchers are pitched on that mound, and it's an honor.
I'd like to make a comment that we've had 4 people answer and nobody has said Egan.
Yeah,
I think
let's ask them.
They're nice to look at.
We got an Egan guy up next here. Hater, which field is the best in HRL?
Well, there's debates going both ways. I actually have a couple. So Egan, Sky Hill, the grass there is excellent. Part of the problem is it takes away from the fun of the wiffle ball. I mean, ground balls don't really move very much. They almost stop when they hit the grass. So I think everyone would agree that takes away from the fun of that. But for me, I mean, I've won a couple World Series there. Something none of these guys would know about. And it's pretty tough to say that to Bischoff or to Stephanie's over there. But, hitting some of those home runs and pitching on that field, that is special memory to me. And everybody who... One? And field 2, short left, yeah. which is as WebGem knows, that's where we
talk about a championships.
And you know what? It's not just for me. I think everybody else who we got to play in those championships, honestly, probably had to be pretty honored to play us on
enough
those fields
with the champions.
But also, I will say Central and Hopkins. But I'm going to say Field 1, which is everything against a right-handed hitter. Because it's got the short left. All these other lefties like it, but for me as a right-handed hitter, there's tennis courts that are deep in left field, and when you're a right-handed hitter and you can hit one into this tennis courts, or a left-handed hitter, it feels really good to pound the wiffle ball that far and get it over that. I don't know how high that fence is, 20 feet maybe? 15 feet?
Yeah.
Get it into the tennis court is a hell of a shot, and it sure is fun when you hit it.
Ballpark.
All right, Hader, thank you for your non-answer, but the correct answer is what these guys were saying. It's Valley, and it's short left or short righted Valley.
Sketchiest park that we play at.
It is easily the best, and the reason it is because I am 4 for 4 against Austin at that field.
Suck it, squirrel.
That is why that is the best field. Also, a question from Austin. Let's see.
Here. Evan, what's your favorite field?
Where is the what's the best?
We need Evan.
Oh, Evan, do you have you established an answer?
He has
one yet? Have you been around long enough?
He has one.
As a HRL
10
veteran,
games in.
having played several seasons, my favorite field is Field 1 down at Soccer First, where I won 2 NWA championships.
Cut off his mic. God damn it.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'll give him that.
All right.
Trent, why did you ask this?
Smallpox.
I was setting him up to say
We're done. We're done. Cut him off.
Let's see. Who's your favorite team to play?
Wait, HRL or NWL?
HRL.
With Trump.
Because we hate everybody at NWLA.
Obviously not the Rays.
Yeah.
They're too good.
We're hated. It's fine.
We're getting to that question.
Oh, wow. There's a whole other question about that.
Favorite
Somebody
team?
answer.
I have an answer.
I have two. One, I hate to admit it, but playing the Blue Jays is a ton of fun.
Goddamn right it is.
I would second.
Minus Vlade, but the rest of the team is awesome. And an underrated team because I think some people here would agree with this, because they bicker at each other the entire time, would be the Astros.
Pain in the ass.
They're awesome to play against. Sorry, they're not very good, but they're okay.
They're sneaky good hitters.
They are sneaky good hitters.
He is. Yeah.
But they're nonstop bickering at each other the entire.
Let it
2
be
games.
known, the Astros came to Hopkins and got 1 hit in 2 games versus myself and Mippy.
They're usually sneaky good hitters. But again, we'll get to that question
that
later.
plays into the fact of why we're hated.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
You're welcome.
If I were to answer that question, though, I think I'd agree with you. I think the Astros are sneaky fun to play. They're underrated. I think they get underrated because none of them are on the message board or anything on our site, so they tend to kind of fly beneath the radar. But they are fun to play. Even if they're not fighting amongst themselves, they're good dudes. So I think the Astros have kind of become my favorite. But who else? Trent?
I'll go. Yeah, because I'm better than you. I'm gonna go a different way. I'm gonna stay in the city, but I'm gonna go with the original HRL champs, the Twins. One of the original franchise. They've been around for 15 years.
The Twins were a blast.
They're just, see, Evan, he's been here a couple weeks. He likes the Twins. I think they're just a blast. They don't take themselves completely seriously, but they're still competitive. And Nelson might be one of my favorite people to play against of all time. And
he is the best 7-fingered whiffler in the nation.
Absolutely, he is. He loves flaunting that hand around. But and then I'd also, Tyler says they're hated, but I have pretty much the most friends on the Rays. very close to those guys, so I like playing them too. But the Twins are my number one.
2 friends on the Rays.
Austin.
Friends on the Rays.
I'd probably say now that Trent said the Twins, and I really like playing the White Sox. I love Spaz.
Really?
That's a
Spaz is
terrible
awesome.
answer.
Like I
They
love
have
it
a
when Mippy
spiritual
and Huck are on
connection,
there, but I
it's weird.
still love the White Sox. They're awesome. Al's
right.
a great guy. The Hader brothers.
I really liked the White Sox when Nippy and Huck were on there too. They were
Yeah.
fun to play. They were really a bunch of great guys out there. Now that Travis has joined, it's really kind of falling apart. But
Since two had stabbed us in the back and left us.
Evan, who've you enjoyed playing against so far?
I played several teams, obviously. My favorite team to play is HRL because I'm 2-0 against them. I've got a loss.
Who keeps giving him the mic?
Take it away.
Hater.
this kid can go.
I love all of Bischoff's answers. I'm going to be honest. I would do the exact same thing. So it's hilarious. You know what? I'm going to throw a couple out there that everyone will be surprised by. And the first is almost the complete wrong answer, but it makes sense in my head. It's the Reds. And the reason that the Reds playing them every week is competitive. Every week playing them is like a playoff game. They want to win. They're there to have fun, but to them, the fun is worth a little, or the winning is worth a little more than I think average. And it really makes you step up your game when you get to play the Reds. And there's a reason that Dr. Seuss is a pitcher of the year, for the NWLA, and there's a reason that the Reds should have been the number one team in the nation last year. I mean, they bring it every week. Say what you want as far as their competitive level during the regular season, which is maybe a little high for what it should be, but those guys are great. I also like the Mariners and the new team, the Diamondbacks, a couple of young guys that are going to be in this league for years, and I can go back old school and say I love playing some of the old fun teams like the Blue Jays and the Phillies. They're fun every time. They're always going to be. But I want to give a shout out to the new teams like the Mariners. And, they've got the Steffi's brothers and they got Bischoff, or as I consider him, transplant since he's now transplanted into Minnesota here. Every team is fun for me. I'm the commissioner in the league. I'm going to be honest.
Right.
I'm glad everybody here is here to play, and we all have the same good interests. I mean, these guys are all great guys, and I want to throw out there, and this guy hasn't gotten much attention, and he usually, he's a really modest guy, but there's a guy on the Rays named Huck Finn, who no one really, doesn't talk about. He's pretty non-vocal about his skills and, what he's going to bring to the NWLA this year, but that guy's a great guy. And
that is not the question that was asked.
And aside from, if you're talking top 100 best looking dudes in the league, Huck Finn's got to be on that list. I'm just saying.
Hey, no, I appreciate that.
But maybe pizza.
In all seriousness, to go back to the question, I really enjoy playing the Yankees. I think every time in Egan, there's always a respect level there. It's never a blowout game. It's every time it's, they're going to bring it as well, kind of going off what Hader said about the Reds. I think playing the Yankees is always fun because they have that mix of, seriousness, but also throwing some jokes around as well. So I enjoy playing the Yankees.
All right on. Let's see, what else do we got here? Can Hader outbench all of WSEM combined?
Absolutely not.
No?
Yes, next
Dude,
question.
Kyle Tomlinson, look at that dude.
Tomlinson,
He's got
for sure.
guns.
He's a twig.
What? Kyle Tomlinson?
Yeah.
Are you high?
Oh,
I'm
boy.
thinking Sam Hatt.
I refuse to
Sam
talk
has-
positively
yeah,
about
never mind.
WSCM.
Yeah, we need to move
We
on.
want to talk about WSN, yeah.
We'll talk about WSCM.
In a fight, how many WSEM players would it take to subdue Hader? Well, I can tell you from having seen Hader's only career MMA match that it would only take one tall, lanky dude to do it. So I think that's the correct answer to that. Here we go.
I mean, just to add to that, I don't know how many 155-pound whifflers are running around, first of all. Second of all, the benching part, how about per pound? I'm sure per pound I could win that, but there's got to be somebody on that team that definitely outbenches.
Could throw up more total weight?
Oh, for sure. I mean, although on the other hand, I've thrown some hogs around in my day too. I'm not just a wiffle bet. I'm a handyman.
That's a sex reference,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Oh, sorry, Austin. That is a sexual reference. As far as in a fight, come on, man. You know I'm modest, but I like to get out there and compete on all different levels. My one worry is that with WSEM is if there really were a fight, which I'm surprised WSEM hasn't gotten into a fight yet, because Bischoff is clearly so violent.
Look at those guns too.
But you know what? I mean, I don't think a fight could ever happen, because as soon as a fight, would break out there, I'm sure that Chandler's dad would blow that rape horn and the cops would show up. So I don't think a fight would actually ever occur.
All right. Well, maybe that's where we end it. The rape horn. Before we go, we do have one more person who just arrived here. Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss has turned up. We're putting a bow on the podcast here, but do you have any NWLA messages for the fans?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh God, here we go.
my name is Dr. Seuss, and I am a player and advocate for the soon-to-be reigning, defending, undisputed NWLA champions. Your Tampa Bay All-Stars. They won't have me.
All right. Well, I think with that, we are on our way out of here. So, again, I want to thank all you guys for joining us. I want to thank everybody for listening. And I want to thank Evan for giving us all the WSEM secrets. And we plan on taking that to, is it Morenci? Morenci? What is it? How do you pronounce
Small
that town?
town, Michigan.
Morenci.
Morenci.
Played them in middle school basketball.
Oh wow, how'd that go?
Really?
Did
How'd
you
that
win?
go?
That does nothing.
Well, it was a close game though. They had,
does nothing
they had
for
one
me.
black kid
Yeah, that
as
doesn't
their
really-
point guard.
Whoa! My God. All right. Well, something to look forward to. Maybe it's still All right. So with that, we're going to sign it off. Thank you again for joining us. HRL. We'll talk to you later.